Morning Joe actually said Governor Pritzker should ask Donald Trump for help with the National Guard. Now just stop and think about that. The same media that mocked Trump, trashed Trump and called him dangerous, are suddenly floating the idea that maybe, just maybe, his leadership, is what's missing. Isn't this something?
Leaders in Chicago that see this, as you say, we've been reading about this for years now. Every weekend, and maybe crime has gone down. But, we had the mayor of Chicago on last week saying, oh, we don't need any more police officers. Police officers aren't the answer. No police officers. I think he said no 5 times. You look what's happening this weekend. You look I actually think that JB Pritzker should do something radical. I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, and say, and I know, you don't have the constitutional authority to deploy the National Guard here and the police might. You can do that in D.C., you can't do that in Chicago. But let's partner up.
Here's what this tells me. When the talking points fade, when the reality hits, the solution Americans need always point back to Trump. Because, Trump didn't just talk tough on law and order, he acted. And he offered to send the National Guard into Chicago when violence spiraled out of control. And what happened? Pritzker and the Democrats said, we don't need Trump's help here. Chicago is safe. Meanwhile, crime kept rising, businesses fled, and families were left defenseless. Now, days later, the same crowd that called Trump a threat, is quietly admitting his way worked. That's not just an irony. That's proof. Proof that when it comes to safety, security, and leadership, Trump's record stands tall, and even in the mouths of his critics, they can't all deny it.
These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership that's constitutional, that respects the sort of balance of federalism between the federal government and the state government. And let's work together to save lives. Because right now, just hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. We'll protect their lives. That's protecting their dignity. It would be radical for us to figure out a way to actually do what I've been saying from the very beginning on Washington, and that is seeing politicians creating partnerships that protect their people.
Let's be honest, this is bigger than Chicago, bigger than Pritzker, bigger than Morning Joe. This is about the Democrat playbook collapsing right under its own weight. For years, they've pushed soft on crime policies, they've refused accountability and totally demonized anyone who called for order. And now, their own cities are paying the price. Their own media can't ignore it anymore, and the only name they can fall back on is Trump. Because Trump understood something simple. Without safety, nothing else matters. You can't build an economy if your streets are unsafe. You can't invest in your community if your stores get looted. You can't raise kids in peace if your leaders care more about political points than protecting you. The irony is rich. The same people who sneered at law and order rallies are now, echoing Trump's solution. And you know what? Deep down, they probably always knew he was right. They just couldn't say it out loud without losing their narrative. So here's the bottom line. Trump's leadership is so strong, even his enemies can't escape it. When the dust settles, when the spin dies down, his policies are the only ones that actually keep Americans safe. That's why they fear him. So let me throw this to you. What do you think? Should Pritzker swallow his pride and ask Trump for help? Or is it too late for Chicago's leadership to admit they failed? Drop your thoughts in the comments and smash that like button if Trump's law and order record speaks for itself. And please don't forget to subscribe.